Last year, back in 2025, I made a trip to New York, didn't I? And as part of my series over there, I visited Nusr-Et, the New York restaurant of Salt Bae, the internet sensation, a guy with a little, like a Tyrannosaurus Rex action for sprinkling salt all over your steaks. And I tell you what, I had a burger there that was covered in gold. It cost me 180 bucks. Well, 230 by the time I had some fries and a drink and a tip and all that sort of thing. And I was rightly derided by you guys down in the comments for wasting so much money on a burger and fries. So I've decided to come to their location here in London. I'm in Knightsbridge, just round the corner from Harvey Nicks, maybe quarter of a mile down the road from Harrods. And I'm going to try out something that looks a bit more reasonably priced. We're going right to the other end of the scale. We're going for their set lunch menu. £39 for 3 courses in a steakhouse in Knightsbridge with a famous name. Is it going to be any good? Am I going to be needing fish and chips afterwards because I'm still hungry? Let's get inside and find out, shall we, folks? So then, folks, I have come in and been seated. Very, very friendly staff so far. A nice table by the window, so the lighting's not bad. And I've got to say, the restaurant is actually decorated quite nicely. Very comfortable seating. Tables not too close together. As things stand, I'm the only customer in here at the moment, but like I say, I've come in right as they open, dead on the dot of midday. More menus than I know what to do with. Here is the a la carte menu. So this is where the money is. There's a steak on here that's £680. Looking at that, I don't see anything covered in gold. So whether they've stopped doing that or not, I don't know. There's a beverage menu here. There is a wine list. Going on to the lunch menus, there are 2 different ones available. Okay, there's the experience menu. This is £59 per person. The starters and the desserts on both of the lunch menus are the same. The only difference is the steaks. So on the £59 one, the experience menu, the Wagyu fillet steak and Wagyu strip loin steak are options on here. 200 gram Australian Wagyu. When you go down to the £39, you've got a few more options. There's salmon, there's a meatball with cheese, you can get a burger, not a gold-coloured one. And then they've got 2 steaks on there, a fillet and a strip loin. Now, those are just USDA prime. I mean, that's still good meat, isn't it? But they're smaller, 140 grams. So what's that, 5 ounce? 6, possibly? Not sure. Somewhere in that kind of region anyway. So yeah, I think I'm going to go with one of the steaks off of the cheap menu. We're going to stick to that. But if you want to get the gold-covered steak experience without spending all the money you have to here at Nusr-Et, maybe I've got just the thing for you back at Greeno Towers. I promised you the Salt Bae experience right here at Greeno Towers, and to do that we're going to be using this, the Typhur Dome 2 air fryer. I've had this fantastic bit of kit at home for the last couple of weeks and I absolutely love it. What's good about it? You've got 360-degree heating technology. What that means, you've got an element at the top and an element at the bottom. It's giving you a more even cook without the need to pull things out and shake them around all the time like you normally do with air fryers. 15 individual cooking functions. There's a function for bacon, there's a function for wings, steak, of course, we're going to be using that today, even pizza. You heard me, you can cook a pizza in here. Look at the size of this tray. You put a 12-inch pizza in there, in it goes, and doesn't it look great? But we're not here to be cooking pizza today, folks. We're going for the Salt Bae steak experience. So let's get that piece of meat ready to go into the Typhur Dome 2. So while the pan is heating up, I'm just going to hit this steak with a little bit of oil, a little bit of salt, and we're ready to go. So the steak's gone in to cook now. And can you hear that? Probably not, because it's so quiet, this unit. Another great feature of the Typhur Dome 2, if you get fat splashing up from cooking a steak or wings or anything like that and getting onto the element, you can run a self-cleaning cycle on this. Hits it with 500 Fahrenheit heat and absolutely destroys, obliterates anything that's splashed up onto the element. Really cool feature. So here we go then, folks. Steak all done. I just need to let that rest there for a second before we coat it in gold. That'll give me an opportunity to tell you about a very, very special offer. If you go to Typhur website and look for this, the Dome 2 air fryer, type in the code Greeno10. So that's Greeno10. That'll entitle you to 10% off the online price of this unit. Definitely worth looking into, my friends. Definitely worth looking into. And so here it is. One steak with the Salt Bae treatment. I've coated it in gold here at home. Looking forward to eating this. Let's get back up to London though and see what I'm ordering at the real Salt Bae's restaurant back in Nusr-Et. Can I start with the Nusr-Et special sushi?
All right.
Is that a good decision?
One of the most popular.
It is it? Yeah.
So basically it's a Nigeri style, but torched.
Okay, right.
Wagyu strip loin with knotted parmesan on top.
Yeah.
Crispy potatoes and avocado puree at the bottom.
Sounds good to me. Sounds good.
Tastes good as well.
Then I'd like the fillet steak, please, with mashed potato.
Fillet with mashed. I'd
I'd like that rare, please.
Rare.
And I'll do the dessert now as well, the baklava. I love baklava. Yeah, so...
I just like to inform the fillet steaks comes sliced.
Yeah, that's fine.
Sliced.
Yeah, perfect. No problem at all.
Very much.
Saves me a job, doesn't it? So there we are. Order is in. You've got the little sort of sushi starter. It's like a torched Wagyu meat, so we'll see how that is. Little avocado cream, some crispy potato, all that jazz, bit of parmesan. Sounds interesting. Fillet steak, rare, with mashed potato, and the baklava to finish up. What will the portion sizes be like? I'm imagining not especially big. £39. Always have a little soft drink too. I've got some tap water on the go here. Not paying those wine prices, and I had a look at the beers too. Bottle beers, £10 each. And don't forget, you're going to get a service charge on top of that too, 12.5%. Soon mounts up. I've got my starter, folks, and the cool thing is they invited me over to have a little look at how they were putting it together. Presentation-wise, I quite like it. I mean, it looks a bit like Donald Trump. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. So we've got 3 bites here, sushi rice in the middle, wrapped in that Wagyu strip loin steak, torched, avocado cream on the top, and I think there's a bit of parmesan, and of course, part of the show I had the little salt stuff. Now I've got cutlery here, but I was offered Nusr-Et branded chopsticks. We'll see how this goes. You've seen me use chopsticks before, folks. I am not an expert. So whether I can even pick this up without everything falling off the top of it remains to be seen. But here we go. Can I transfer it from plate to mouth in one go? I like the flavour of that. And the texture is really interesting too. The steak isn't crisped up at all. It's still really, really soft. And of course you've got the sushi rice in the middle of there. And again, nice soft texture. Not overcooked, not squidgy or anything. Good texture. The avocado cream is creamy, as one would expect. I'm not getting a huge amount of avocado flavour out of it. I can definitely pick up parmesan in there though. And then you've got the potatoes on the top here. Look at that. Like a little hat, as I like Donald Trump's barnet. Here we go again. I think, to be fair, for most people, it's not really a one-biter. It's quite a substantial thing. There's quite a lot of rice in there. And when you pile it up high with those potatoes, it is almost a sort of Python mode kind of thing required. Dislocate your jaw, just shove it in. Well, I've got to say, the taste of it is really, really rather nice. Not a bad start. Not a bad start. So then, folks, main course time. We have the steak, we have mash. A little bit of chive over the top of it. The mash looks nice and smooth, actually, really nicely made. The steak, the guy did say it comes sliced, and what I thought they meant by that was it was actually going to be cooked as a whole and then sliced for presentation, whereas actually it's sliced quite thinly for cookery. That's interesting. So what have we got here? 1, 2, 3, and a little bit. 3 and a little bit pieces of the steak there, and the mashed potato. Now, obviously, if you want any extra sides, you can order them. But they kind of start out about 12 quid for broccoli, I think. So, you know, that will soon bump things up. And of course, we have here on the table the salt. We're going to try and do this. We're going to try and do this. Little pinch of it down the arm. There we go. You don't have to pay 300 quid to get someone to do that for you, do you? Here we go. I'm going to be interested to see, cooking it like this, in very, very thin pieces, whether they manage to keep it nice and rare in the middle. Because obviously I've had to get the bar markings on the outside of it to make it look nice. Let's have a little looky-see. I think they've done it. I think they've done it. Here we go. You can see that on camera now. Give it a try. Very soft. That is actually a very, very tasty piece of meat. Let's try this smaller piece now. I don't know whether this has just been cut off the end of the fillet or something. I do wonder whether, you know, they would think about using trimmings from when they're making more expensive fillets for the menu. I've got no issue with that at all. It's got a lovely smoky flavour from that grill. And it's soft as soft can be. I often find fillet a little bland. That really isn't. And again, because I find fillet bland, if I ever order it, I will always order a sauce. Normally a béarnaise. Not always, but normally. It is my favourite. This actually doesn't need a sauce at all. Let's move on to this mash. I mean, it's not a huge portion, but then I think whenever you have mash at home, you tend to pile it up, don't you? You can have sausage and mash or pie and mash or something like that. You make a load of it. You probably use more potatoes to make the mash than you would ever think about using to make any other potato dish at home. And then you'd pile a great big portion of it on there, tip the gravy over the top. Here, slightly more refined. Yeah, very, very smooth. Could be a touch warmer, if I'm going to be critical, but it's well seasoned. Nice salty flavour to it. There's a little bit of chive over the top. It's fresh chive, obviously, not dried or anything. Just give a tiny little oniony tinge to it all. It's not the biggest lunch you're ever going to have, but I think it's enough to satisfy you, certainly for a lighter lunch anyway. There's 3 bits of sushi with the rice inside. You've got the mashed potato here, so you have got your carbs that are going to sort of sate your hunger, and a bit of protein too. I mean, have a look at this one. Can you see the inside of that? I say, the chef who's done that kind of knows what he's doing. Keeping that rare, whilst getting the bar marks on the outside, it must be a very, very hot grill. So guys, 2 successful courses so far, I would say. I've been brought over the baklava. We have 2 pieces here of it. You're not going to expect a great big portion or whatever necessarily with a cheaper lunch menu, are you? Now this is a walnut baklava. Normally I think I've had more pistachio ones, but we will see how this one is. I've got some Turkish tea here on the side, which is, oh, warm. This may need sugar, let's see. Yeah, we need a little bit of sugar in there. It is quite bitter. I think pretty much all of the Turkish beverages, you need a little dash of sugar in. Turkish coffee, I mean, normally you get a Turkish coffee, you put your spoon in, it will stand up there, won't it? So there we go. Let's give that a little whiz around. Yeah, that's better. Not enough to make it sweet. I don't really like it too sweet, but just enough to take the edge off. Because of course this is going to be very sweet as well. Nice crunch to that phyllo on there. Oh, come on. There we go. And you'll probably be able to see here, if I hold it up, you can see the cross section. There we go, all the walnut filling in there. There's syrup. It's going to be a squidgy, gooey kind of inside, and then you get the crisp from the phyllo on the top. There is no doubting it's sweet. That's from all of that syrup that gets soaked through into it. The walnut actually gives it a really nice texture because it hasn't been too finely ground. So you are still getting little pieces of walnut in there to chew on. And then, like I say, the crispy kind of phyllo on the top. The bottom is not so crispy because obviously it's soaked in all that syrup. And a sip of the tea just to take that sweetness away. Works really well. I've got to say, overall, I'm a little bit more impressed than I expected to be fair. In fact, I might even do my summary in here rather than going back out into the street. It's really, really busy here. I think this is, I don't know if the road is called Knightsbridge or whatever, but it goes into Brompton Road where Harrods is and whatever. So it's so busy with taxis and buses and what have you. Really noisy out there. So what am I going to say about this overall? I've got to say, the restaurant itself is really stylish. I like that. The service has been impeccable. Really, really very friendly. I would say not even formal as such. Quite relaxed, you know. Invited up to see how the sushi was being made, that kind of thing. And I don't think that's just for me, you know. I think other people will get that opportunity too. The restaurant is quiet, so of course you expect the service to be a little bit better when there's as many staff as customers, pretty much. But you can't knock it, however it is, you know. The service has been really good. The food has been better than I expected it to be for the price paid. The meat sushi was delicious. The avocado cream really set it off. The nice little sort of smokiness that you got on that Wagyu from the torching. I did thoroughly enjoy that. The steak with the mash, again, not a big portion, and it is only a bit of steak and some mashed potato. It's quite a light lunch, but it was tasty. The mash was beautifully made, the steak was beautifully cooked, and it had a lot of flavour. And then this, a baklava to finish. Sweet, great textures to it, nice little tea alongside it. I think it's good. Now, what's this going to cost me overall? I haven't got the bill yet, so I'm doing the summing up before I've seen that. I will put it on the screen for you. But it was £39 per person for the menu. I've paid a £5 for that drink as well. So what's that, £44? And then there's a 12.5% service charge on top of that. So that's what, probably another £5. So just probably, this is where my maths will let me down and you'll see it on the screen. I think we're at the right side of 50 quid anyway. I think that's okay. I think that's okay. For this part of town, all right, you're paying a little bit for the name, but I've enjoyed it. I have enjoyed it. They don't do the gold stuff here anymore. So if you want that, you've got to come down to my house, apparently, if you saw the ad earlier in the video. Yeah, impressed. What am I going to give it? That's a good question. I mean, it is still a small lunch. And there's no sides or anything on it, not even really any garnish. But I'm struggling to think of it as anything less than about a sort of 8.5 out of 10. Really, honestly. And I didn't expect necessarily to be saying that coming in here. 8.5 out of 10. Does it get Greeno's green light? It actually does. For this lunch meal, I wouldn't recommend necessarily coming in and spending a fortune in here because you can probably, you know, we all know there are other steakhouses in London where you can get a really good steak considerably more economically than you can here. I'll tell you what, for the price paid, pretty damn good. Right, so 8.5 out of 10, Greeno's green light. Who on earth would have thought it? Have I lost my mind? Let me know in the comments down below. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget, click a thumbs up on there for me. It does help the channel. And if you're new around here, take a little look through the vault. I'll put a link to my US Nusr-Et experience so you can see what happens when you spend real money. Yeah, subscribe to the channel, ding your bell for notifications, all that kind of stuff. You know the drill. Right, where are you going to find me next? Who knows? Who knows? I know. You don't know. You will find out if you tune in next time, though. Bye for now.